What is going on, guys? I am Quincy Avery, and we're getting ready to talk about all the interceptions that happened in week 6 of the NFL season. The reason that we're doing this is because oftentimes we see an interception in the stat sheet, we automatically attribute that to the quarterback. But there's so many other factors. Did we run a wrong route? Did we read the coverage wrong? Did we make a bad drop or just simply make a bad throw? There's so many things that go into each and every one of these plays, but without further ado, we'll jump right in. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the quarterback information that you can handle. This Jalen Hurts interception is a prime example of a lot of things working against the quarterback, which causes interception. So if we start the play out, we're going to be in 11 personnel. It's going to be 1 back, 1 tight end, and 3 receivers. What the New York Giants are originally showing us is a 1 high defensive structure. So we get the feeling that we're going to be getting man-to-man. And what Jalen's going to do here to confirm that is he's going to send Devontae Smith out in motion. So he has this exit motion, whatever you'd call it. This is F working outside of the X receiver in this formation. So we get all the feelings that we're going to be getting some sort of 1 high man-to-man defense. And in that 1 high man-to-man defense, we're going to simply read this concept: 4-step speed out, stick route from the tight end, and then we'd be working our way back inside to A.J. Brown on this deep over, and then getting a Devontae Smith. Now they changed that. They showed that 1 high defensive structure to start off, but on this motion, you'll notice this outside linebacker is going to creep up, and now he's going to be on the line of scrimmage. This safety is no longer going to be a middle of the field player. He is going to be one-on-one, man-to-man coverage with Goddard. So all these things make a difference because we went from this 1 high man-to-man coverage to something a little bit different. Now we are getting cover 0. We get pressure here, outside linebacker pressure here, and this backer, he's going to be green dog. And what green dogging means is his first responsibility is going to be man-to-man with Saquon Barkley. If Saquon Barkley does not release in protection, his next job is going to be to add in pressure. So when we get cover 0, our 0 answers are usually going to be in the middle of the field running away from defenders because there is no middle of the field player anymore. They're going to be bringing more people on the defensive side of the field than we can block, and they know that they are going to be responsible for man-to-man coverage, but it leaves big voids in the defense if you can get this ball to your hand quickly. Now, our cornerback, he knows that we're bringing this 0 pressure, and we're in the red zone. We're in the high red, so there's not much ability to threaten this defensive back pushing the field vertically. So we run a 4-step speed out to the bottom of the field. There's 2 problems with this, right? It's not the 4-step speed out, but let's watch Jalen's feet. So Jalen plays quarterback with his left foot up. Very, very common throughout the NFL. But his first step is going to be with his right foot rather than his left. Now that makes a huge difference because on a 4-step speed out, it's akin to a 3-step drop for a quarterback, and a 3-step drop with your left foot up would be left, right, ball. But what we do here is right foot's the first to move. Then we put our left foot in the ground, and now we put our 3rd step in the ground. So we did 3 steps from gun rather than the old school 3 steps from under center, forcing us to be late. While this defensive back knows he's not going to be threatened vertically, it allows him the opportunity to jump on this speed out. Now, if we threw a little bit better ball and kept it more outside, we'd have the opportunity for this to be incompletion, but we're not in a good space or situation to be throwing this ball. This ball thrown on time, likely a completion. This ball thrown late and a good ball outside, likely an incompletion. But we're late and we leave this ball hanging a bit inside, cause an interception. But if Jalen would have known or would have had the opportunity to confirm from the snap, hey, we're no longer in 1 high, now we get cover 0, I'm 100% sure A.J. Brown gets this ball and he's hitting his head on the goalpost. Great job by the New York Giants in terms of disguising their coverage. Right, that disguise put them in a situation where Jalen started his eyes to the outside to the left, and then our defensive back being able to make that jump in the ball, understanding his coverage. Bryce Young's interception will not take long for any of us to understand what is going on or who is at fault. We're starting off in 11 personnel. That's just the flavor. We're going to go across motion, right? And when we go across motion, and we know that they're in zone, This play is what you would like to call a progression with an option. Progression with an option means option. Like that is our option. Our X receiver is going to be our option. If this will tucks in the box and you have one-on-one off coverage, you feel really, really good about just taking your one-on-one matchup. And that's exactly what Bryce does. Hey, we did everything that you asked. The defense, hey, he's inside the box, so we have no trouble there. We're going to get a three-step slant. Bryce throws this ball on time. Hits him in the face mask. And this ball's an interception. All we see on the stat sheet is an interception. Bryce played this thing exactly right. So what they're really thinking here is we got the slant. We are going to run this escort bubble to the back. So everything's taken care of. They get numbers over here, which they do. Numbers. Work back to the slant. Work back to the slant. He knows what the plan is. They know what the plan is. They get everybody over there. We take the slant. Hits him in the hands. Going the other way. Those are the toughest ones for quarterbacks because there's nothing else he could have done differently. This stat sheet is going to say Jacoby Brissett threw an interception. I know in my heart of hearts that this interception is not on Jacoby. I know fans often don't see it that way. All they see is, well, we threw an interception. It doesn't really mean much, right? There's so many other details that go into a play. We're going to come out in a 2x2 set. We got Zay Jones and Trey McBride. They're going to be the boundary. We got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Greg Dortch. They're going to be the field. We come on a stack alignment to the top, and then we have Trey McBride. He's detached from the tackle. So we're in a 2x2, and we're going to be running an RPO. RPO simply indicates that it's a run-pass option. Our first opportunity is to give the ball to the back who's running this inside zone here. Quarterback's job, Jacoby's job, is to take his eyes to this inside backer. If he comes to play the run, he wants to get up in there, then we're going to throw it. But if he were to sit back and take away one of these two routes over here, then we could give the ball run, pass option. We're just playing off of one guy for that initial read. And I think Jacoby does a great job here. Goes to insert. He's already filled. So we know that we need to be throwing. Now, after we've determined we got to throw this ball, now our eyes get to Nick Cross. Is he going to take away the flat, or is he going to stay here with this sit route that Zay Jones has? And you have to be able to read body language and the movement of the defender. And I think, once again, Jacoby does a fantastic job of that. Nick Cross, he's moving outside, right? He is moving to take away this flat. Once he gets on the other side of him here, Zay Jones will be wide open, 7-yard completion, opportunity to turn and run. This is a ball that's thrown with anticipation. Right, as you can see, the throw motion has already started. He throws it with anticipation. He throws an accurate ball. But this accurate football ends up in the chest of a defender through no fault of his own. It's really difficult as a quarterback to play that way. You got to be able to play on time. You got to be able to be accurate. And I think Jacoby did both of those things along with making two great decisions. One, great decision on the RPO. Two, great decision on throwing it to the stick rather than the flat there. Did all those things right. It still turned out to be an interception. And that's why the NFL is such a tough game. You can do so many things right and still be punished for a great decision when a ref doesn't throw the flag. Cam Ward, young fella, what are we doing here? Now, I love so many things about Cam Ward's game. This is where we're going to have to show some improvement because he has the ability to do so many things at a really, really high level. And this would be a great time. All right, we got 16 seconds left. It's 2nd and 10. We're probably not going to score. Now, rather than us taking a drop and drifting off the spot, let's just bang it on the flag control. We do not have to make big time Superman plays all the time. And I think that he'll learn his lessons. There's really nothing worse that could happen on this play here than what happens because we got points on the board. We're at the 30. We're going to be kicking a 47-yard field goal. He shows all this elusiveness. I'm unaware of who exactly the plan was on throwing this ball to. Right? We throw this. I don't know who we were trying to throw this ball to at this point in time that was going to allow us to have a completion. Just take the yards, call a timeout, and kick a field goal. And that's a lesson that we're going to have to learn because when we're getting this, we're at the 30, end of the half. Let's just take the points. That interception's totally on Cam, right? It's just a bad decision not necessarily understanding the situation. I think it's tough as a rookie, and I don't think that these are mistakes that he's going to continue to make throughout his career. All interceptions are not created equally. This is a perfect example. This is Cooper Rush, and the Baltimore Ravens are going to be coming out in 12 personnel. That's going to put Isaiah Likely as a number one. He's going to be outside of Zay Flowers. Now, what the Los Angeles Rams do early in this play is they want to give the impression that they're going to be in sort of too high shell coverage. That's the talk of the town. That's what everybody's doing. They get the ability to really play over the top coverage and protect things up, make you throw underneath. However, what you see at the start is not what you're going to get throughout the play. So we got Isaiah Likely lined up at the 1, and who he has over him is Emmanuel Forbes. That's important because that's a cornerback, and he's usually going to travel with the receiver rather than Quentin Lake being over Zay Flowers. Now, Quentin Lake is a nickel. He's also a safety, so he does a lot of things well. But you would argue that Emmanuel Forbes is a better cover guy, and that's who they would typically have on the receiver if they're going to be man-to-man coverage. That is not what happens. So what we're going to get from the Baltimore Ravens is they want to test and check, and that's what they do. So what they're going to do is send Isaiah Likely on this short end motion. So we went in motion. Forbes are going to travel with. So now we're starting to get some man-to-man feel, and that's what we get. And this safety is going to go from what he would be in this shell coverage, which looks like some sort of quarters before the snap, because they're not on the same level. So you're thinking, hey, maybe we got 2 or 4 down here and we got 2 or 4 to the field, but that changes rapidly. Now we know we're getting some sort of man-to-man coverage. And Cooper Rush is going to go through a typical progression. He's going to start with his eyes outside of DeAndre Hopkins, who's got a vertical release. He is not open, right? He's not open. DeAndre Hopkins is great at contested catches, but I don't think Cooper Rush feels comfortable throwing that. I get it. I understand. Now, this guy becomes a hole player. This isn't cover 2 man. This is cover 1 hole, which means this safety is not going to be a hash player. His job is going to be down in this hole, taking away exactly what he does as he goes to rob Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews isn't there. So Cooper Rush has went 1, not there. 2, not there. Now he's getting back to Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, let's take this back just a touch so we can see what I'm saying. Let's look at where Zay Flowers is. Zay Flowers is going to be running a speed in, and he starts his speed in on the 30-yard line. 35. So if Zay Flowers runs his route on the 35-yard line rather than this drifty, lazy, I shouldn't say it's just a drifty, it's not a detailed route. And that's the difference between, at worst, this should be an incompletion. Was it a great idea? I think that is fine. In the NFL, guys are not going to be wide open. He has a step. If he maintains his line and he stays flat on his breaking point, this could very well and very easily be a completion. And that's what we talk about is the interceptions that a quarterback gets is not just on them. There's an opportunity for Zay Flowers to run a better route here and protect his quarterback. You got Cooper Rush in here, bro. When you got somebody who's not the starter, we got to make life really, really easy. Now, do I love Cooper Rush's feet back here? No. That's not the position that I would love to be throwing the football in. But he makes a good enough throw. And that's tough, right? When you start your break on the 35 and you're on the 39 trying to catch this ball and Mr. Lake is making the interception on the 37, those are the details that separate a quarterback from having a really good day and him throwing an interception. And then all we see on the stat sheet is the interception. This is Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels throws an interception right here in a big situation. Right? We got 2nd and 5 on the 21. I hate these red zone interceptions. And this is, at first I thought he anticipated Debo on a bend. That is not what happened. And the reason that I know that is because I saw the chest pad, and I'll show you guys the chest pad too. So we are going with this counter action protection, okay? So we are gonna send blocker here, we're gonna protect this up, and we're gonna give the feel that we're running this toss sweep. So cool, we got a lot of action going that way. Now we have Ertz, he's gonna be running this sit OTB over the middle, and we're going to be in a one high zone defense. Now, this nickel defender, he's not threatened. There's nothing for him in this curl flat. Like, they have the ability. They have the numbers over there. So he's the guy who actually makes a play. He comes out of it. This ball, 4 verts, need to be completed at 18 yards. Now, here's the issue. This is the post safety, and he's on the hash because there's nothing on this side threatening him vertically. If there's nothing on that side threatening him vertically, he just pushes more and more over in this direction. So it makes this throw more difficult. Now, could Jaden complete it? Yeah, but it's going to have to be outside, firm down the field. He throws his ball almost like he's a bender, right? Like I said, he throws his ball like he's going to be working this way. And you do that versus 2 high coverage. But when you get 1 high, you want to stay up the seam here. I think that it's open. It's a good design. We just put this ball in a bad spot, right? And I think Jaden's confused, but you'll see the chest back. He gets up. Oh, that's on me. Hands ahead. That's on me. It's a lot of chest padding. I get it. It happens. It is not. It's a bad ball. And I think that you are allowed to throw a few bad footballs. You're not always punished with the interception, but Jaden is this time. And that's the game is the game. Tough interception for him, especially down there. Would love to have points right there. If they get points right there, this game may end differently. We got Jordan Love here, who I think has been playing quarterback as well as anybody else. This is just a situation we can't have. We're going to get man-to-man coverage, which is okay. I want to understand what the drop is, because I think if we take just a good drop, if we start doing that, having the ability to just take a good drop, he's starting with his eyes to the right. Cool, we're going to get off that. All we got to do is work back. But as we drift and do all these things, it just creates more trouble. But that is fine. Right, we have the opportunity right here. Just throw the ball away. It's 3rd down, 3rd and 5. We're in the red zone. We got a chance to just kick a field goal. We can't make bad plays worse as a quarterback, right? And that's the situation that we find ourselves in when we throw a lot of these interceptions. Okay, we might have missed a read. We still have points on the board. Just take the field goal. This is just a bad decision, trying to make a play that's really not there. Gets tipped up. Yeah, would love for this to not be an interception, right? There's a great chance that this could be an incomplete pass, but it's not. And that's the things that we give an opportunity to happen when we start extending plays like this. And I think Jordan Love is one of the best extenders of plays to be able to push the ball downfield. So you don't want to take away his trump card because, yeah, but I would rather see him just put his foot in the ground, make the throw right there. Now we try and do something. That is both a bad decision and a bad throw, and that is why we have an interception right there. But not like Jordan. Is not something I anticipate him doing much more throughout the season because he's been playing at a super high level. All right, all interceptions are not created equal. This is a prime example of that. Let's go ahead and watch it one time. We're going to come out in 13 personnel. We got Daniel Jones here. He's going to be running a naked, right? So we're running this naked, and we find ourselves throwing an interception. But let's go back and really explain what's going on. So we're in 13 personnel. We're going to go this across motion. We are going to be going outside zone here. And we got a tight end to the flat fast, right? That's going to be our number one read. You're always thinking, can I get the ball to the flat right now? We do a really good job right here in terms of Baron Browning just taking that away. He does a really good job seeing it and getting back outside. So, hey, can we make this throw? Yeah, we probably could. That's where our eyes need to be right now, Daniel Jones. He doesn't make that decision. I'm okay. Now this is where it gets tricky. Because if we see a quarterback starting this throw right now, our tight end right here, we're really good with this decision. It's not a bad decision. He didn't make a bad decision. It's a bad throw, right? We got to be able to either layer that ball a little bit better so Mack Wilson doesn't make an amazing play. And I'm not taking anything for granted. This is an amazing play by the defender here. I don't think that Daniel Jones is wrong at all in terms of what he's seeing or his decisions he's making. Yes, I think I would want him to get the ball to the flat right now. But he doesn't make that decision, and that's okay. You're not going to see this play often by a linebacker. And we also got to know, hey, we're layering this thing. We got Buda Baker, who's as good as anybody else instinctually of coming off of this high corner, this high pylon, and coming down and making a play. So we don't have the opportunity to throw this ball with a ton of trajectory. But this ball is a ball that has to be completed. And I'm not really taking anything away from Daniel Jones. I think that he played a great game. It's just situations like that. This one's on you, right? There's a lot of other times we can look for other explanations in terms of why something happened, but quarterback just got to make a better throw right here. Understand why it happened. I don't anticipate it's something Daniel Jones will do again. This is Josh Allen versus the Atlanta Falcons. He had a 2-interception day today, and this one is probably the worst of the two because there's nothing going, okay? So here's what we got. We got a bench route to the boundary. And this really looks really pure progression here because he starts his eyes directly to the left and he just simply works back in that order. So we got the bench route by number 1 with a shake or whatever you want to call it. Basic, deep dig, deep dig. And then you got the back check down late. So that is the play call. And I would agree that there's not a ton here in order for Josh Allen to work with. Right? They're going to go man. It gives you the feeling, like when you see this play start, that you're going to be getting like a 2-man. Jesse Bates plays more of a hole, right? So he's feeling this thing. So AJ Terrell, that's clamped. That's gone. All right, so he did his job here. We have both these in routes coming, but Bates is ready for that one. So that's gone. Now Shakir, he's open, right? But are you going to be able to push the ball down the field and be able to beat Jesse Bates? I don't think so. And Josh Allen doesn't think so either. And he leaves this ball behind him and it ends up interception. Like, that is Josh Allen versus the Houston Texans 4 years ago in the playoff stuff. He does not make plays like this. It's frustrating to see Josh Allen throw an interception. Like, get off it, right? This is what I don't like from quarterback play. Like, let's look at this. Like, let's look at his eyes. His eyes start to the left, comes back to right, and then he goes left again. You are never going to find success going back to a read in a progression unless it's scramble drill. Not going to happen. Josh Allen does it right there, and he pays the price of throwing an interception. We're going to put that one wholly on Josh Allen. Josh Allen, interception number 2. This is one that we're going to live with. And the reason that we live with this interception is not because it's a great interception or any of those things. It is because it's Josh Allen doing what he does. And one of the real issues here is he originally gets the feel of like this goal line quarters E coverage. And when we're getting this quarters coverage, that's going to take his eyes to the boundary. If he knows that he's getting this man-to-man, like, this is our man-beater side. That's what we run for man-to-man coverage. And he would be working to his left side if he'd been aware of the coverage at the snap of the ball. Like, this isn't there. Like, this glance-ish route and this go route. It's just not there. We have an opportunity to win there in quarters coverage, right? And I'll show you why. If we go quarters coverage here, which I'm pretty sure Josh Allen feels, we got that. We got this. So Jesse Bates he's working to the corner, right? That's what he'd be doing here. And our safety would be in this catch technique, but when we get quarters and number 2 runs vertically, he has to play a man-to-man, and we win there. We'll win there. Like, that's what we feel confident in. But this went from quarters coverage to man-to-man really, really quickly. Josh Allen starts with his eyes on the wrong side. Okay, we're going to live there. But now this is Josh Allen doing the same Superman things he does all the time. And if we're going to take the good and all the things that Josh Allen does when he leaves the pocket and creates and he throws touchdowns, there's going to be a couple bad. And this is just what happens, right? They need to score right there. He throws an interception. We're going to live, right? And it's not, oh, we're all good, but we're in the 4th quarter. We got 50 seconds left. The only option for us here is to score a touchdown. The game is a game. And difficult to throw an interception right there, but we completely understand why it happened. This interception here is tough for Mac, and it's tough for a couple reasons. I'm not sure if this is their answer in terms of hot, right? It seems as if Mac's thrown it with a ton of confidence, but he probably also thinks they're going to be in some sort of one high zone pressure look. And the thing that frustrates me a bit about Kyle Shanahan's offense, despite him being one of the best play designers, is at the line of scrimmage, his quarterbacks do not have a ton of autonomy in terms of changing the protections, fixing things in order to make themselves protected, right? He just likes to throw hot. And it seems to be a miscommunication between Mac Jones and number 84 here, who's going to be running this flat route, right? His real route is this return, this China action, right? He's going to be working to the flat, and then he's going to return a staple in Shanahan's system. But when we get this pressure, Mac is hoping that he can be his hot answer and he can throw it to the flat. Now, I'm sure he also does not know that we're going to have this cornerback who's going to be sitting in the flat, right? You see the pressure. You want to get the ball to your hands. And this is a really good job by Todd Bowles in this defense, because defenses get paid 2. They are going to end up bringing 4. They're going to be dropping their defensive end, and they're getting to this Tampa 2 defense. Mac's got to let this thing go because he's hot. We are not looking because we're running this return route here, and it hits our cornerback in the chest. Now, he should be taking this thing to the house. This is a miscommunication. A miscommunication and a bad throw. So Mac is still going to get the blame here because they are in this cover 2 variation. I don't think that the end result would have been great no matter what. I would love for him to be able to protect himself here, change the protection, turn it to the field, give himself an opportunity to block that up. And I think that we'd have a great opportunity to throw this return route on this China. But as you see, Mac Jones is staring down the barrel. He's got to get this ball out of his hands. And that's what causes an interception here for the San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones with his second interception of the day, and we are going to get an out and a go, which looks very, very similar to the situation in which we threw the previous interception, right? Because they're going to once again get to a cover 2. Now he's just going to throw a different interception, right? The thing about quarterbacks is you got fooled once, right? He got fooled once, threw it to the flat, and they picked it off. Now he's like, I'm not going to make that mistake again. And we get the same sort of look, right? We got a flat control without. We could probably bang that. We could probably bang that on the tight end right here. We could probably make this throw. But we hold it. We get a little gun shy, and we try to throw this whole shot here. Well, we're not doing the same thing. We're floating. We're floating. And we throw this ball dead to the cornerback. Now, there's other options, right? Because this is quick game. We got double slants on the back. We get a 2-high situation. I would love for Mac Jones to get off this right now and just throw the double slant. Because it's open, right? The double slant is open. We push the ball down the field. We end up throwing another interception. That's just difficult. And we can try to forget things with our mind, but our body never forgets, right? He doesn't forget that he just threw that interception into a cover 2 corner, and that is what allowed them to get their first turnover, and that's the second. Man, I'll tell you what, Tua had a day. He threw 3 interceptions. There's a lot that went into his interception, so we're going to have to watch them all. This is a pretty simple concept. You'll see this all the time in the NFL. We're going to start with a 3-step slant by Jalen Waddle. Now, the reason I'm telling you it's a 3-step slant is because when you run a 3-step slant, you are expecting the ball out of your 3rd step, and that ball should be on your just a catchable ball, right? We need to throw him the ball on time. When you're running slant, you want the ball on time because you got too many other things to worry about. Collisions, X, Y, Z. I understand you are a receiver. Your job is to catch the ball, but that sounds a lot easier in practice and in application. So we're going to run that 3-step slant by Jalen Waddle. Then we are going to get to a version of spacing. We're going to motion across. We're going to be escorting. We have a swing. And then we'll have like a drift, spin, backside, right? Like a wrap. Okay, so where Tua's going to start his eyes, right, in this 2-high defense is he's going to start his eyes to the boundary. Makes sense. We motion, they rotate. Now 1, 2, this ball, Tua starts throwing. Like it looks like he's ready to throw the football. What causes this double pump? Now, I know Jalen Waddle is no longer expecting this football because in this world, it's slant. It's not there. 1 to 2. And it's that simple. Like, that is what we're doing. He comes back to him late. Yeah, I mean, should he catch this ball? Yes, he should. Right? Your job as a receiver is to catch the football. But also, when you're put in positions like this, it's really difficult because you were no longer expecting the ball. You see Jalen Waddle has actually relaxed and started jogging through the route. Like the route is over in his mind. He knows the rhythm and timing of this play. Ball out. He doesn't throw it, throws it late. Yes. Do we want that catch? 100%. But I'm going to place blame on both Tua and Jalen Waddle. Tua's got to get the ball on time. Jalen Waddle, he needs to make that catch because he's a top-tier receiver and you expect that from him. Interception number 2 of the day for Tua. We're going to come out in empty. We are going to be in 12 personnel. That's 2 tight ends, 1 back. And we're going to be, of course, in this empty formation. So we're seeing, to start the play, we're going to see this 2-high shell. And I think that Stefanski's going to do a good job. He's going to make you think, hey, we're going to be getting some form of 2-high because as we start to move and as we start to motion, he's going to move with you. So, like, you start feeling that. However, what you start see the movement. So they want to give us the illusion or the idea that we're going to be getting some form of 2-high coverage. That is not what we're going to get. We are going to get a cover 3 robber. So he's going to insert in this middle hook. He's going to work to the post. All these things make sense. All these things are fine, right? So we have 4 rushers, 4 underneath, 3 deep coverage. We get this sit to the dagger, right? So he's going to work back out. We're going to be running this dagger. He's going to be running a through route. And this Mike linebacker, he's just going to be chasing. So all those things are understood. Now, Tua is working to this dig. I love the decision. The decision is great. The football, however, is not. We cannot both slow him down, right? We almost throw this ball behind him on a dig route. We can't do that to it, and that is why we have an interception here. It wasn't a bad read. I think he understood the coverage. He just made a bad throw, and those are the things that start to get frustrating after a while. At one point, we got to be a better thrower of the football, and I think that when we get to these deeper drop back passes, you would love to see Tua complete those. This is Tua's 3rd interception of the day, and we're not going to spend a ton of time on it. These are the interceptions that go on your stat sheet, but no one really cares. And what I mean by that, we have 1st and 10. There's going to be 5 seconds left in the 4th quarter. We're going to try and run a trick play. So we know we're running a trick play. The defense knows we're doing something silly. And yeah, do we want to complete this pass and give ourselves an opportunity on this catch and flea flicker? Yeah, of course, 100%. But there's not a lot of options here. They're not rushing anybody. Throws it, hits a guy in the chest. Do we want to throw interception? No. Right? We did, yeah. But we don't. At the end of the day, we're not going to watch this play. We're not going to talk about it in the film room. It is what it is. We were just trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, he gets another interception like that. He already had 2 rough ones throughout the game. Just another one to add to the stat sheet. And that's essentially what I'm talking about here. All interceptions are not created equal. This is a gotta have it situation. So this is not a throwaway play, but it doesn't mean the same. It doesn't have the same value, right? We knew we were going to throw it. We want to give our guy opportunity. They also knew we were going to throw something tricky or Hail Mary, and that's what we get. Man, thank you so much for joining me throughout those plays. I think that you can walk away from here having a better understanding of why guys threw the interceptions that he did. There's a lot of things that went on throughout the past week. Hope to keep you updated and look forward to seeing you again. Once again, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the info as the Quarterback Takeover channels continue to provide you with in-depth quarterback analysis.